Legislation across the country inspired a few Needham students to speak up for queer and trans youth who will be most affected by the potential laws. On Friday, March 11th, Needham High School students staged a walkout to bring awareness to legislation aimed at limiting rights and to stand in solidarity with LGBTQ plus youth across the nation.
What do we say?
We say gay!
What do we say?
We say gay!
At the time of organizing the protest, two of the largest bills that had popped up was one of the House bills in Florida, which has been colloquially dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill, which would prohibit the discussion of LGBTQ plus identity at the elementary school level for students between kindergarten and third grade. And one reason we principally object to that is because it prohibits, teachers from being authentic. It prohibits people who come from queer families like myself, as a person who has lesbian moms, from being able to discuss their own family openly in schools.
The directive coming from Texas, which would allow for investigations of parents who allow their children to get gender-affirming healthcare and treatment. So this could include hormone replacement therapy or seeking gender-affirming surgery. However, also this directive was fairly vague, so it even could just apply to other forms of parental support of trans identity. And there are thousands of individuals of all ages stating the importance and the critical nature of being supported in their identity, especially by their family, and being able to access healthcare. A large part of the movement is not only expressing that trans healthcare is necessary and saves lives, as this is something that is agreed upon by major pediatric associations and medical associations across the country, but also that trans lives have value and are worth living.
Apart from just a general stand of solidarity and awareness of the issue, we also wanted to highlight queer people in our own community and encourage the allied community to show their support to prompt other people around them and in our environment and in our school to think about the issue at hand. Because I think what's unfortunate is there really is a deficit of either baseline knowledge of the legislation or the comprehension of why these are so profound and so upsetting to the queer community. And so our goal was to create this space in which we demand attention such that people might be prompted to learn, which in turn can build compassion.
We were expecting probably a small crowd, around 50 students, and ended up getting around 200 walking out with us, which was incredibly impactful, even just visually, to see that many students come out and join us. And overall, it was very much a supportive atmosphere.
I think a virtue of civil disobedience or public demonstration is that it demands attention. When you have peers leaving class, or when you even just know that people are leaving class, it prompts you to consider, why are they doing so? Why am I making the choice to stay and they're making the choice to leave? Or do I want to also make the choice to leave? And I think that it can prompt awareness and advocacy in a way that running a seminar where we speak about it wouldn't, because it brings in an audience or prompts consideration for an audience who wouldn't necessarily gravitate to discussions of queerphobia or of marginalized identity.
Very impactful to have these other outside adults who are there and support members of town equity groups, as well as some parents of queer kids and members of the Needham Clergy Association, including several reverends and rabbis.
In terms of resources, what we would highly encourage community members to do is to educate themselves, to read about these bills, to read lived experience, to read about the significance of playing on a gender-affirmed sports team, of being able to access medical treatment that's gender-affirming, of being able to be publicly and openly out as queer in your school community. And then beyond that, if people have the resources, be it, material resources, financial resources, emotional resources, to donate to places like the ACLU or to Trans Texas or to the Trans Defense Fund, places that consolidate money for direct action for people impacted, and also organizations which fight the legal battles to combat bills that impede the civil and human rights of queer people.